What's up, my friends? It's Austin Broussard. I'm the guy that got a $200,000 MBA so that you don't have to. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why getting a billboard in this day and age might be the worst decision you can make when it comes to marketing and advertising for your business. Well, maybe not the absolute worst, but it's not far from it. Let's take a look. So if you live in the South or on the East Coast, you've probably seen one of these billboards. Now, this is a personal injury attorney. I guarantee this video is not about bashing this particular attorney. It's about the numbers when it comes to your business and your growth. And when your business starts doing well, I mean 10, 20, 30, maybe even $50,000 a month, you might want to think twice before you invest in a billboard, because although it does give you visibility on one particular highway, I have a few questions that might make you reconsider. Number one, is there any way for you to know exactly how many people saw your billboard in a 30-day period? What if there's an outage on that highway, or there needs to be a detour and people don't travel on that road for a bit? Number two, do you have the name, email, and phone number of the people that were actually interested in that billboard? And number three, if a person was interested, they did write the number down, they were driving slow enough to get it, right? They did see the billboard, they were interested, they wrote the number down, but they don't take that road again for another 30 days. Do you have a way to show them your advertisement without buying another billboard that's closer where they might live? If you think about those questions, let's talk about what the alternative might be. So look, when we think about billboards, a study from 7 years ago says that for a billboard, every dollar you put in, you might get $5.97 back, right? That's a 5.97x return on advertising spend, return on investment kind of thing. But when you think about it this way, I want you to consider billboard advertising is around 3% of the total advertising dollars in North America right now. And if it were the best way to market your business, don't you think that the largest companies that are interested in making the most money would spend more of their advertising dollars on this form of marketing? Now, if you're as smart as you say you are, it might be a good idea to let those guys do the work for you when it comes to the strategy of marketing your business. Let's talk about what you can do instead. These numbers here allow you to amplify the return on ad spend or return on investment. Now, this is the back end of a Facebook ads manager. And I don't want a Facebook ads agency. Instead, I want a client acquisition firm that bridges the entire gap for clients, including the offer, getting the attention, running the ads, all of it. We build the infrastructures and then release it into your business. But this particular point is focused on the fact that I've seen Facebook advertising, which includes Instagram or even TikTok or LinkedIn advertising. All of the platforms really work the same way, Google and YouTube as well. I've seen these ads be able to get a 10x return on investment and even 15x return on investment, depending on the price point of what you're selling. So when I talked about personal injury attorneys or even real estate agents, the checks that you get are large. So when you think about the dollars that you spend on advertisement, don't you think it would make more sense to say, I'm going to put $1 into advertisement and get 8 to 10x or maybe even 15x return when it comes to the type of client that I get, the fact that they're qualified, and me being able to predict the number of clients that I'm going to get per week? It just makes more sense. But beyond the advertisement, beyond the ads, right? Because that's commoditized. Here's what really activates this system, where you can amplify it and get an even higher percentage return on your investment when it comes to investing in your marketing and advertising. Again, you want clients, you want a steady flow. And I have a question for you. If you got one new client per day for the next 30 days, would it not make a drastic difference in your business, especially if that were a qualified client that was ready to work with you? Now, if you get a billboard, do you know how many dollars you have to spend to get that client? Do you know how much it costs you to get that one client? Or do you just put the billboard up, close your hands and pray and wait for someone to call you? Now, you don't have as much control. You can't amplify the amount of people that come down that street. There are a bunch of things that you can affect that in this particular technology system that we live in today, we have the opportunity to affect. And I think it might be a good idea for you to think about. So once you get the attention, you can get the lead. You can know it costs you, let's say $5 or $10 per lead. That way, you know how much you need to spend to get the amount of leads that you need in order to convert and make the amount of money that you want. But beyond just having the leads, what if you were able to activate a growth specialist, let's say at $3 to $5 or maybe even $7 an hour, to say once you get those leads, there's someone reaching out to those people. Or in this new phase of life and technology, you can have AI reaching out to those people, engaging them in a conversation and boosting, drastically boosting the rate at which they convert. The person that's interested becomes a person that's now in your ecosystem and is one that you can communicate with because you have their name, email, phone number. You can text them. You can email them. You can educate them about how good you are, show them your testimonials. You can do all those things, none of which are things that you can do with a billboard. Again, this is not to bash billboards, but it's just to give you the perspective. Now, if you've got a growth specialist, someone sees your advertisement, the growth specialist or the AI reaches out to them via email. Of course, you've got the automation set up to kind of get them into your system of education. If you do that, you know how much it costs you to get a lead. You can explain your processes to them because you have the technology. You can send them to your website. You can send it to them via email. You can send it via text. You can get them on a call with you. Know that they're qualified because you can ask them questions before they call, as opposed to them calling and say, hey, I think you do what I need help with. Can you help me? There are just really interesting steps in the process that you can add at a much more nimble cost basis, right? Spending your money much more intelligently as a business owner so that you can scale with predictable growth, because you're not guessing about where your next dollar or customer are going to come from, but instead you're looking at a process and saying, hey, instead of me just getting a billboard and hoping that people call the number, hoping that they're driving slow enough to call the number, I'm going to advertise to them, essentially be able to follow them around the internet, make sure that they see my advertisement. Even if they're busy at work the first time they saw it, they can see it again at night, right? They don't have to drive down that same road again to see me. But then I can get their name, email, and phone number. I can track them on the internet, which kind of sounds scary, but it's really how marketing is done these days. And you're able to maximize the return on the investment that you're putting into your marketing and advertising. Because at the end of the day, marketing and advertising isn't about just making sure that you have a pretty picture on a big billboard or a great commercial on TV, because you still don't get the data. Marketing and advertising is about making sure that people know who you are. Because the question I always pose to my clients, or the statement I should say I always make, is that if everybody who needs what you have knew who you were, you wouldn't have to worry about money again. Now, I think the same is true for you, but I also think it's time for us to connect so that we can build the infrastructure for you that allows you to benefit from these systems, as opposed to just knowing that they exist and saying, hey, I'll get to it one day. When it comes to the life and business that you want, you started this thing for a reason. But if you drag your feet, or you just take the traditional methods of marketing, it might take you a lot longer to get where you're trying to go. And that's not the name of this game. The simple summary here is, when you're comparing how you spend your dollars, whether it be billboards, TV commercials, or advertisements online, you just need to be intentional and know, hey, what are my goals? How can I ensure that I'm bringing the number of clients to the door that help me keep not just my lights open, but keep the scale and growth of my business where I want it to be? And then who do I need to help me with it, right? We're offering, of course, that kind of help. We have limited spots on our calendar, but you can book a call. I look forward to talking with you. But if you stick around, just keep watching this page. We'll have more videos and breakdowns like this, because we're here to help you scale. And I look forward to being your partner in growth. We'll talk soon.